Honestly, butt hat kind of works. How many are they? He needed that, otherwise he would have died. It's fun, so it's worth it. It is Monday, April 19th, and I am here to give you an update on the dual rule project that me and Matilda are working on. Matilda is also doing a video on this, and I'm gonna link that down below so you can see both of our updates. We're making these videos because on Saturday we're going to have a live stream that's sort of going to be a check-in, both this is how we're doing and these are some things we need help with, so we wanted you to have a chance to be prepared before that. And also, if you're not watching the live streams, we still want you to have a chance to follow how we're doing. A super quick recap for those of you who don't know what this is. The Dual Rule Project is a book that me and Matilda have been plotting in live streams with audience participation. You guys have helped us figure a lot of this stuff out, and we are co-writing it. We started co-writing it now in April, and we're gonna continue until we are done. So Matilda writes the story from her character's perspective, and I write it from my character's perspective. For most of the book, the characters are not in the same place, and so we're writing it sort of separately, and then we'll figure things out when we need to figure out how to actually put things together. There's a link in the description to a video that is sort of the announcement video for this, so it has a lot of information, and also there's a link to the playlist with live streams that is 38 hours of footage, so you might not want to watch all that, but if you do, it's down there. In this video, I'm going to assume that you know a little bit about this story, that you have at least watched my announcement video, so if you haven't, might want to do that, or otherwise maybe you'll understand anyway what's going on. I will do my best to make sure everyone can follow. First, I want to talk about some things that have changed or that I have discovered while writing this, and I want to start with Niem's power. Niem is my character, and he wakes up with a magic power one day, and we decided that that magic power was going to be being able to see in the dark. Originally, we decided that it was going to be being able to see in the dark as long as there's a little bit of light. His eyes can just use that light to see more or less clearly, sort of like a cat or another night-seeing animal. And I started out writing like that, but then someone mentioned in the live stream when I said that I was having a little bit of trouble writing exactly how he would see things, and someone said the words glowing shadows, and that intrigued me, and I have now changed how he sees so that he sees in the dark. His eyes work reverse to how other people's eyes work, so that to him, darkness is light and light is darkness. As an example, the sun is a black orb and it spreads shadow over the entire world for him, whereas in pitch black he can see just as well as on a sunny day, as other people can see on a sunny day. With the exception that there are no shadows, because there is no light coming from anywhere, so there will be no shadows, which I keep forgetting, but yeah, so that is how his power works now. This means that I have lost the part where he was supposed to be very sensitive to light and not being able to be out in the sunlight and things like that, which I'm a little bit sad that I changed that, but I think it's kind of worth it because the power is a little bit more unique now, I think, and I liked this version of the power better. It's also kind of difficult to write, but it's fun, so it's worth it. Another thing I realized is that Niem has absolutely zero survival skills. He grew up in a city. He has apparently been out of the city once before in his life, and he has no clue how to survive on the outside. He knows in theory how to start a fire. He knows that some plants are edible, but he can't tell the difference between an edible plant and a non-edible plant, and he's just kind of suffering when he's out there in the world. It also seems like he has a terrible memory, so any research that he did before leaving, he couldn't bring that with him because he was sort of chased out of the capital when he had to leave, and so, yeah, all of that research he doesn't remember. I mean, he remembers doing the research and he remembers that he learned things, but he doesn't remember which plant was the edible one and which was the non-edible one, and, the details. There are also a few things that I have failed to include in the story. Niem was supposed to, he's an archivist, and he was supposed to be, have a dream of becoming a cartographer, of making maps, and I mentioned that a little bit in the beginning, but I have not used it as much as I should have. And I need to either remove that bit or maybe do some research on how he would view the world from the perspective of someone who might want to make a map out of this. Because that's a special way of seeing the world that I don't really have. I like maps, but I have no interest in making maps of real places. I like making fantasy maps, but yeah, anyway. I also haven't mentioned the dreams. So Niem is going on this quest, and he was supposed to have dreams telling him where to go next, and I have sort of almost a little bit mentioned it in the beginning, but then I just haven't. I believe that Matilda also hasn't really mentioned that a whole lot, so I don't know if that's something that we're maybe going to remove. I think we're going to talk about that on Saturday and get your guys' input. But yeah, so I have not included that as much as I should have either. I've also really been struggling, that has nothing to do with dreams, but I've been struggling with measurements, because I keep saying that, X and X meters, and then yards, and then inches, and that doesn't make sense. So that's something that I'm going to have to fix later. For some positive and fun things, I have written a really, really good character. I love this character. It's a friend of Niem's that he has never met before. They've exchanged letters, so they know each other quite well, but they've never met. And now he goes to visit her, and she's just really cool. She collects fairy tales, and I just really like her. The interaction between Niem and her name is Annery, is also where I had the most glorious typo. So the sentence I wrote was, "Well, you managed to surprise me. Congratulations, butt hat." Because I was gonna write, "but that explains," and so on. And honestly, butt hat kind of works. She's the kind of person who would be upset about being, or, jokingly upset about being surprised, and also the kind of person who would use the insult butt hat. So yeah, I haven't actually decided if I'm going to keep that or not. Another fun thing that I have written that I really, really like is Niem's medal trial. So this quest is going through 9. How many are they? There are 7 challenges, each corresponding to a kind of elemental. It's air, earth, electricity, fire, metal, plant, and water. So those are the trials that Niem and Matilda's character also has to go through. I have written most of Niem's medal challenge right now, medal trial, and it is just so much fun. So he's supposed to go through 3 different chambers in a mountain, where in the first chamber he's going to create a key, gonna make a key. In the second one he's going to release a dragon, and in the third one he is going to try to find the right lock. There is a room, there is a bunch of locks, there is an hourglass that is counting down time, so it's a timed challenge, and he has to figure out how to get out of there. He has 1 key, there are 1,000 locks, and yeah. Originally, in that last chamber, we talked about that there was going to be a wall full of locks, and each of them was going to be different, and he was going to try to match his key with the lock that matched. Instead, I have now made it so that every single lock is identical, and they all match the key. And then when he unlocks one, he gets another key that is very different, and then all of the locks magically change, and suddenly they all match this new key. And I really like that, and he is so frustrated and stressed, and really, he breaks down crying because he has no clue what he's supposed to do, and time is running out, and it's a really emotional scene, and I just had so much fun with the medal trial. Now, I have been skipping around a little bit because I wrote the beginning. I wrote when Niem got his powers and introduced him and the people around him and the archive and the capital a little bit. What I have not done in that is that I have not really put anything in there about the ruler, the current ruler, being evil, because the current ruler is evil. He is very evil, and for some reason, the way I've written it right now, it doesn't show at all in the capital that he is. And it's supposed to, because that's supposed to give Niem the... he wants to go through this quest because that means that he is going to be the next heir, and that means that he's going to take over after this current ruler, and he's going to do a much, much better job. That's his thinking. So he wants to do this because he wants to overthrow the current ruler. But the current ruler, as I have written it now, I mean, I haven't really written anything about him. I haven't written that he's good or that he's bad. So that's something that I really need to add in the beginning, that he's not worthy of being ruler and should be overthrown. Anyway, I have written Niem leaving the capital, being chased out of the capital. I have written the air trial, although the air trial was tricky. He's supposed to be caught up in a tornado, which sounds really cool, and I think on film it would be really cool if this was a movie I was writing. But in writing, I just couldn't make it... Like, it's just chaos, and it's just being thrown around there, and he can't really do anything because it doesn't have the magic power that air trial is going to give him. So he's just sort of tumbling along in the tornado, and that's not really all that exciting. And I mean, we did say that some of the trials maybe didn't need to be explored in detail on page, because that's going to be a lot of trials, given that there are two people all going through these challenges. So that's 14 challenges. Yeah, 13 challenges, because they do one of them together. But Niem's air trial, I think, is going to be the first trial that we see on page, and it seems a little bit off if he doesn't, like, if that doesn't get described in detail. I feel like the first one should be described in detail, and currently I just can't figure out how to do it with his air trial in a way that works, so that's also something that we might have to talk about on Saturday. Anyway, after the air trial, Niem was miserable in the wild for a while. He met a nice farming family that helped him out, which was good because he needed that, otherwise he would have died. And then he hears some gossip that the last heir has been found dead. All of the heirs of the ruler goes through this quest, and many have been sent out before Niem, and they have all died, and now it's been found that the last heir before him died as well, and there is a lot of speculation about why hasn't a new heir been sent out, and people are speculating that, well, maybe it's an illegitimate child that they don't want to, boast about. Niem, who knows for fairly certain that he is not related to the royal family at all, so that's another confusing thing that I haven't really had him think too much about after leaving the capital. Should put that into. Niem hears that, and yeah, they're also saying that, yeah, well, an illegitimate child who is not prepared for this trial is going to die immediately anyway, so they don't stand a chance. And Niem is like, yes, I do. Maybe. It's after that Niem goes to visit Anare, and then he goes to Inferno Valley, where he's going to do the Earth, Fire, and Plant trials. And I wrote the beginning of the Earth trial, which was also really good. I really liked that part too. But then I couldn't really... He's supposed to go through a maze, and things are supposed to happen in that maze, and I couldn't quite figure that out, so I jumped from there to the Metal trial, which he does after Inferno Valley. So I haven't written the Fire or the Plant one. So yeah, need to get back and do that. But I had ideas for the Metal one, so I wanted to write that. And again, turned out really good, so I'm glad I did. And that's where I'm at when I'm filming this. Like I said, the live stream is on Saturday, so I will have some time to write more. I will probably go back and try to write previous things that I skipped, because, yeah, I should do that. I shouldn't. Otherwise, I might forget that I skipped them, and then there's a hole there, and then, yeah, that's not good. Anyway, I'll bring you up to speed on where I'm at exactly on the live stream. Again, that is this Saturday, April 24th at noon UTC on Matilda's channel. It is linked down below. So I hope to see you there. Thank you for watching.